Bigfoot Silva versus Frank Mir, an important fight for both guys in the heavyweight division. Again, give me your breakdown of that fight and give me a prediction.
It's such an interesting spot because maybe it's the elephant in the room, but both these guys are former TRT users. How have they looked since? Bigfoot Silva, you know, he went down pretty hard against Andrei Arlovsky, and people are saying, oh, his chin isn't there anymore, all that stuff. And Frank Mir's never been known for his chin. So this could be one of those fights where whoever gets hit first really goes down. And that could be, you could say that basically about any heavyweight fight. But this one in particular, you know, these guys, it would be fun to see it go to the ground. I mean, we hear all this stuff, Bigfoot Silva's jiu-jitsu, Frank Mir's jiu-jitsu, but we don't really see it as much because it's hard to take guys down before you get knocked out in a heavyweight fight. So in that one, it's hard to really pick Frank Mir at this point. He's lost 4 in a row. I couldn't imagine where his confidence is. But you know, Bigfoot has been on a bit of a slide himself. He really needs this one. He lost his last fight, which was the main event in Brazil. I know he was super, super disappointed in that. So I think he really needs this one. Mir needs it as well. So for judging, I think Silva will probably be able to smother him if it goes to the ground. I don't know if Mir's going to be able to get him in any sort of submission, but if it stays standing, it could get ugly for Frank Mir if he gets hit with one of those shots. But I think Mir's probably the faster fighter, maybe has a little more diverse striking attack. So you never know. Maybe he picks Bigfoot apart, stays light on his feet, but it's just so hard to really pick Frank Mir at this point in his career. He seems like he's just really on the tail end.
Kind of want to go for Mir, but he just hasn't been looking sharp in his past couple of fights, and I think Bigfoot, he's got enough to be able to surprise you, and even if it goes to the ground, especially with Bigfoot on top, as good as Mir is on the ground, from his back, it's going to be very hard to get a submission when you have those big Bigfoot hands smashing into your face. So I'm thinking Bigfoot by TKO.
Yeah, I like Bigfoot Silva in this. I think Mir, he's one of those guys that if he retires after this fight or even retired before this fight, I'd be fine with it. I think it's time for him to hang it up. I think most worrisome, his chin is gone, and I'm sure it's going to get tested here, and I'm sure he's going to be unconscious on his back at some point in this fight.
Okay.
What? Who cares? Heavyweights are, no one's going to beat Cain Velasquez. Verdum has a chance. Apart from that, Verdum may just fight these guys for the rest. Like, it's unfortunate if your name's Junior Dos Santos because you're the second best heavyweight ever not named Cain Velasquez. For the crack, I'll say Frank Mir. I'd like to see him get a win and not be cut devastatingly from the UFC because he's, I don't know. Let's just say Frank Mir for the fun, but we talk about oversaturation. This should be the second or third card on the UFC pay-per-view. It shouldn't be headlining anywhere.
Big fight for both these guys too, right? Man, Frank Mir, I mean, to think about all he's accomplished in his career, but where he is right now, I mean, this is make or break, right? I mean, this is probably his final chance. So, you know, I think we're going to see a good Frank Mir. I hope we're going to see the best Frank Mir we can, because I know he's kind of struggled. He's had some bad luck. I mean, there's certainly there, but man, I just struggle to see exactly where he's going to win the fight, you know, and I don't mean that in any sort of insult, but you know, first of all, Bigfoot's actually got pretty good jiu-jitsu. I think people forget from time to time that, you know, he really does have decent jiu-jitsu skills. Maybe not on Frank Mir's level, but I think the defensive jiu-jitsu is at least going to be there enough that Frank Mir's not just going to quickly able to take him down, arm bar, knee bar, that sort of thing. And on top of that, I think in the striking game, you've really got to give the edge to Bigfoot as well. Adding in all that, Frank's got to go to Brazil, which I've made that trip. Listen, it is taxing, especially when you're not going directly to Rio or Sao Paulo, because you have to make connections and it changes, and the diet and all the things. So I just think there's a lot of things against Frank Mir. I kind of, as much as look, I'm a Bigfoot fan. I love, you know, he's one of the nicest guys, the gentle giant, and I want to see him do well. But you know, I really want to see Frank Mir kind of show some vintage momentum and just show something that he hasn't shown us in a long time, because, you know, how can you not love that guy? But I got to go with Bigfoot right now.